Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ari. I'm an independent filmmaker and film enthusiast, and today I'll be talking about the Wachowskis and ranking their filmography. I'm a huge fan of the Wachowskis. I love their movies. I think they're some of the most talented and unique visionaries of our time. I'm going to go through their filmography from worst to best, or from least to best, and talk about their movies. So let's get started. Ranking from 8 to 1, starting with number 8. Number 8 is Jupiter Ascending. Jupiter Ascending is a movie I like a little bit. There are moments and there are images that are really weird and cool, and there are scenes that work. But overall, this is my least favorite Wachowski film. This is the closest thing they've had to a dud, in my opinion. Um, and I think one of the reasons that it is a little bit miscast, maybe not miscast, but I think the direction of the main character is the problem with the movie. I think the film needed to have a main character that was a little bit more funny, maybe a little bit younger. A good example would have been like in The Fifth Element, you had Mila Jovovich, who was just a vibrant personality. And I think Jupiter Ascending lacks that vibrant personality in the main character that would have made the film more compelling and more interesting and more entertaining. I think Channing Tatum is good in the film, and I think the visual effects are really interesting. It is a very silly movie, a very nerdy movie, which is kind of cool in its own way. Definitely the least of their movies. It's just not as thought provoking and thematically rich as their other films. It has a plot that's actually kind of similar to The Matrix in a way, but in a fantasy setting. But yeah, it's definitely not amongst their best films. There is a set piece in the film that's very entertaining, which is towards the beginning of the movie, which is this action set piece set in Chicago. I do like that sequence a lot. And like I said before, there are a lot of images in the film that I like. There are a lot of moments that I like. But ultimately, this is the least of their films and is the number 8 spot. So, number 7 on the list is Cloud Atlas. I don't have a lot to say about Cloud Atlas. I think it's a very ambitious film. I really like how actors appear in multiple roles. The makeup effects are a bit jarring, but you have to have those makeup effects because of the fact that the actors are playing multiple roles in each storyline. And I don't think the movie works without actors playing multiple roles in multiple storylines. I think that's one of the charms of the movie. I think it's what makes the movie unique. And I haven't read the book, so I don't know if it's a good adaptation or not, but I imagine it is. Knowing the Wachowskis, I feel like they probably did right by the book. And yeah, I really like Tom Hanks in the film. I really like Halle Berry. I think there's a lot going on in Cloud Atlas. It's a very dense film. It's a very thematically rich film. It's a well edited movie because it's about 3 hours, and the 3 hours goes by pretty quickly. I think they did a really good job with the editing in the film, and I really like the cross cutting. It's an entertaining film. I don't think it's as great as some of the people like. I know it's a cult classic now, and I know it's a favorite to a lot of people who like the Wachowskis, but for me, it's number 7. Um, that's how I feel about Cloud Atlas. I don't have much to say about the film. It's a good film. I think it's worth checking out. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth watching. It's an epic ride. Um, and yeah, that's Cloud Atlas. So number 6 on the list is The Matrix Resurrections. This is a solo effort by Lana Wachowski. And this is a very interesting movie, very idiosyncratic and very unique and different, and certainly different from the Matrix trilogy. This is a film that took me a couple viewings to get around to liking. I was a little bit on the fence when I first saw it, to say the least. So the first time I saw the film, I was a little bit taken aback by what it was. It was so different from what I was expecting and so different from the Matrix trilogy that I was a little bit harsh on it. I think I didn't really appreciate it for what it was. And on subsequent viewing, I came around to really liking the film and really enjoying what Lana Wachowski does with The Matrix. I think it is the most unique film in the filmography in many ways because it is probably the most daring, big budget Hollywood sequel ever made. It is so different. It shifts hard sci-fi with almost comedic parody, I want to say, which has a weird tonal shift in the film because sometimes the movie is like very heady and philosophical and interesting, and then At times, it's very silly and goofy and weird, and like I said, it's very different from what we're used to seeing from the Wachowskis and what we're used to seeing from the Matrix. So, like I said, the film really mixes science fiction with comedy. Um, it's a funnier film than any of the other Matrix movies and probably any other film in their filmography in a way. Uh, and I like that about it. I like the way it looks because it's so different from the trilogy. Resurrections is a long movie. It's like 2 hours and 30 minutes almost. But it flies by. It's just so weird and so different. So I really like the new cast members in the film. I like the new characters. I think the film works. I wish it was maybe a better action movie, but I'm not sure that the point of the movie was to actually be an action movie. It's just so different from what we're used to from the Matrix because the Matrix trilogy offers so many great set pieces, and Resurrections doesn't really do that. There is a cool set piece at the end of the film with incredible visual effects, but it's not really an action movie and it doesn't move like an action movie. It's just more of a sci-fi comedy in a way. And I like that. I like that about it. I think it's different. I think it's a big swing by Lana Wachowski that she didn't go into like a retread of the trilogy and didn't just offer up the same shit that we've seen before. I like that she tried something new. It's a big swing. And yeah, Resurrections is definitely worth checking out. Give it a chance. And if you don't like it the first time, I would say give it another chance after your initial viewing and see if you like it the second time or third time even better, because that's what happened for me. I liked it so much more on subsequent viewing. All right, number 5 on the list is The Matrix Revolutions, the third film in the Matrix trilogy. I really enjoy this film. I think it's a lot better than what people say about it. I'm not sure why people are so down on the third Matrix film. I think it's a great conclusion to the trilogy. I do wish it worked better as a standalone movie. I think if you look at other trilogies, especially like for reference, Lord of the Rings, each film works as its own movie, and each film has sort of a beginning, middle, and end. And especially The Return of the King is such a great standalone film, even though it's a continuation of the story from the previous two films. It's a great standalone film on its own. It works on its own. Whereas Matrix Revolutions is sort of like the third act of Matrix Reloaded. And I think that hurts it a little bit because it doesn't really feel like it has a beginning, middle, and end. I mean, it does, but it really feels like a 2 hour third act. And I wish Revolutions just worked a little bit better as its own movie as opposed to just being the end of Reloaded. My other gripe with the movie is that I wish there was a main character in the Zion battle. I think it's a great set piece. I think it's an incredible action extravaganza with visual effects that are mind blowing. And I think it's an exciting piece of cinema. I think Morpheus is sidelined in the third film a little bit, and I wish there was a way that they brought Morpheus back into Zion for that battle so we had a main character that we could feel the emotional impact of the story with. And I think that would have made that sequence a little bit more emotional and more impactful if we just had a main character during that scene. Otherwise, I think Revolutions is fantastic. I think from an action standpoint, it's still amazing. I think the final confrontation between Neo and Smith is epic. I really think it's like a live action anime. I mean, if you look at the anime influence on The Matrix, I think Revolutions has it maybe the most with that finale sequence. There are just great anime inspired images, and I really like what they did thematically to conclude the film, to conclude the story, I should say. And I really like Revolutions. I enjoyed the Trinity Neo storyline. I think that works really well. I think the romance works really well. I think there's an emotional core to the film that ends on a satisfying note. And yeah, I think Revolutions is underrated. I think it's a really good conclusion to a trilogy with a couple flaws here and there. So number 4 on the list. From this point on, I think the films are phenomenal, and these are 4 of my favorite movies of all time. Actually, that's how much I love the following 4 movies. Number 4 is The Matrix Reloaded. To me, Reloaded is the most ambitious sequel I think ever made. They could have done so many things wrong with Reloaded, and they could have gone in a direction that was safe, and they did not do that. They went for something that was really different and unique. I think philosophically, it's even more impressive and thought provoking than the first movie. I think there's more layers to it. I think thematically, there are more layers to Reloaded than any other film in the Matrix series. I really like that about it. I like that the thematic element of the film challenges you. I like that they challenge the concepts of the first movie a lot in Reloaded. I think the scene with the architect is spectacular. I think it's one of the most well written scenes in a science fiction film ever. I think Reloaded works first and foremost as a science fiction movie and then just kicks ass as an action movie at the same time. I really think from an action standpoint, they did an amazing job. It culminates with the freeway chase, which is maybe arguably the best set piece in the entire trilogy or series, I should say. The freeway chase is just incredible filmmaking all around, incredible seamless visual effects. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's incredibly well done. My only flaw with Reloaded is that the Burly Brawl has CGI that I thought looked like a video game. And I thought this back in 2003 when the movie was released. I didn't think it worked then, and I don't think it works now. There are just some, I think conceptually it's cool, and I think there are a lot of images that are great, but I think it's jarring the way that the CGI, it goes from live actors to CGI, entirely CGI characters. I just didn't feel it. I just didn't feel that mix of CGI and live action for that sequence. And I thought the music was a little bit too much in that sequence also. It goes a little bit heavy. But it's okay. It's a minor quibble. It's a minor gripe. I think Reloaded is an astonishing movie. I think they could have done so many things wrong, and it could have been so catastrophic with how, like, living up to the expectation. I mean, I know that the movie was divisive back in 2003, but I always enjoyed it. I think it's gotten better with time. I think it's a movie that improves on subsequent viewing. Yeah, The Matrix Reloaded, 5-star movie for me. The best sequel ever made, in my opinion. I'm glad it lived up to the expectations for me because I know some people were disappointed, but I think it's just amazing. And the Zion rave scene is awesome. Okay, number 3 on the list is their directorial debut, Bound, from 1996. So Bound to me is my favorite debut of the 90s. It is one of my favorite directorial debuts ever. The film is on the Criterion Collection now, so you can check it out there. And you should definitely buy it because Bound is an incredible film. It's an incredible debut. You could just see that there was a great talent on display with Bound. It's such a exciting and funny movie. It's so entertaining and well paced and well acted. Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly are tremendous. Joe Pantoliano kind of steals the movie actually because it becomes his movie in the second half, and it is just so good. I don't have a lot to say about Bound. It's a very straightforward movie. It's got its themes. It's got its cool images. Thematically, it's really enjoyable. I mean, there's a scene where she literally bursts out of a closet, and it's just brilliant. Like, I don't know, it just works. I think what they did with a $4 million budget, I think it cost $4 million, is incredible. It's a low budget film. It is a film that maximizes its budget. It looks like a bigger film than it actually is. And it's just so impressive. You could see that these filmmakers were immense talents and that they would go on to do incredible things in the future. Okay, so next up, number 2 is Speed Racer. Speed Racer is one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know why this was panned when it came out. I don't think the world was ready for Speed Racer when it was released in 2008. But I saw the film like 8 times in theaters, and I loved it. I thought it was groundbreaking. I thought it was visionary. I think it's really funny and silly and cool at the same time. I don't even know how you describe it. I mean, it's a kids movie. It's essentially like an art house kids movie, a very experimental film. And I think that experimentation is maybe off-putting to some people, but I thought it was tremendous. Visually, I think the film is absolutely visionary and astonishing. What they do with transitions is so inventive and cool and original. I think the way they mix tone together is very interesting in the film. I think, sometimes the film is very uh, sentimental and in a good way. And I think sometimes it's very funny, sometimes it's very silly, sometimes it's action packed. There's so much going on with it, tonally, that it is always entertaining and always interesting. So the set pieces in Speed Racer are phenomenal. The Casa Cristo rally is some of the greatest stuff the Wachowskis have done. And of course, we have to talk about the Grand Prix, because the Grand Prix sequence is editing at its finest. It is emotional. It is incredible. It is experimental and cool and cinematic in a way that is unique to the Wachowskis. It's one of the greatest pieces of filmmaking in their career. It might be my favorite individual set piece or scene that they've directed. I think it's that good. I think it's that exhilarating. And yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I saw it, I just felt like I wanted to jump out of my seat. Like it was that great. And the first time I saw the film was actually at Tribeca Film Festival in New York with an audience that was incredibly into it. And you could just feel the impact the film was having on the audience. I mean, if you know the Grand Prix scene, if you know the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's just so amazing. So Speed Racer is a film for all ages. I think if you're young, it will dazzle you. I think if you're old, it will charm you. I think the film is it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I've watched the movie maybe almost every year since it's come out. I revisit the film, and it just never gets old. It just gets better, actually. It just gets better and better and more impressive, and there's just more little details that you see in the film that are inspiring and unique and weird and cool. So yeah, Speed Racer number two. It would be number one, but we know what number one is. So number one on the list is The Matrix. The Matrix is not only my favorite Wachowski movie, it is my favorite movie, period. It is, I mean, what is there to say about The Matrix that hasn't been said? I mean, it is a groundbreaking film. It's a landmark. It was incredible back in '99, and I think it's even better today. I've seen the movie countless times, and yet the film just keeps rewarding you with subsequent viewings. It just keeps getting better. You would think a movie that's so defining of '90s culture would be dated, and yet the film is timeless. It just is. I mean, it's just beyond beyond. I mean, The Matrix is so impressive on so many levels. It is an incredible science fiction film. It's an incredible action movie. It works on every level. It works. Every aspect of the film is inspired. Every aspect of the film is done with such meticulous detail and care and cinematic excellence. Bullet Time obviously was mind blowing back in '99, and it's still just so amazing today. I think the film works on an emotional level, on a thematic level, on a philosophical level. I think it is a thought provoking movie. It makes you really think about what it's about, which I love. I think it's a challenging film. Like, I just don't understand how you could not like The Matrix. I love everything about The Matrix. It is a fusion of different, kinds of movies and art, and that fusion works so well. It's everything I love about movies in one movie. It's got martial arts, it's got action, it's got philosophy, it's got romance, it's got everything. I mean, everything you could want in a movie is in The Matrix. It's just so well done. It's really lightning in a bottle, and they did something that was legendary and timeless. I think The Matrix will live on for many years. I think it will be rightly seen as one of the greatest movies of all time and one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time. It is everything for me. It is a movie that means so much to me, and usually I watch it. I watch it every year. Usually I watch it a couple times a year, even. Like, I'll watch it and just be shocked at how good it still is, and then I'll just have to watch it again because it's just so awesome. Yeah, The Matrix is number one. It's the Wachowskis' ultimate masterwork. It is their finest work. It will always be their best work. I don't think they can do better than the Matrix. It was just, like I said, lightning in a bottle, and that kind of movie that comes around once in a generation. And I wish people could go back in time and see it for the first time like I did back in 99. I wish people, like younger audiences, could go back in time somehow and experience The Matrix in theaters with sold out crowds the way I saw it. And it was just a movie that totally gripped the audience and never let go. And the crowd reaction back in 99 was amazing. And it was a phenomenon. It was just a phenomenon. And hats off to the Wachowskis for doing something that is just so special to me and to so many people. It is an absolute masterwork. It is my favorite movie of all time, like I said. Definitely one of the best movies of all time. And if you haven't seen The Matrix, you got to see The Matrix. That's it. So yeah, that was my ranking of the Wachowskis' filmography. I love the Wachowskis. I can't wait to see what they do next, either as solo filmmakers or together. I hope they do more stuff together in the future, and I can't wait to see what it is. So yeah, that's the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.